Our studio kitchen. Sunday.
It is Sunday, and
I
we're
like
back from Europe, man. We were
Yes.
in Italy and France and Monaco,
Spain.
Spain.
Yep.
Saw the Leaning Tower of Pisa. That place is huge. It's leaning one
Do
way.
your head this way.
There's like a gazillion people there putting their hands up like they're holding it, and I was laughing at them. Going, I can't believe they're doing it here. Let's do it too.
Yeah, we had to do it. But I got Richard to like lean all his body into it, and
I even had to make the face
I
like.
had to make a face, and he thought it was silly, but it was fun. I'm glad we have it now. So we had a really good time. We went on the EXO cruise with Marriage Today. If you're looking for great marriage advice, great marriage information, check out Marriage Today with Jimmy Evans and now Dave and Ashley Willis. And they always have great marriage information and great
Good content.
tips. And, really good content. That's a good word. So we got to do comedy on a ship. So that's our fifth time that we got to do.
I think
We've
so.
been on marriage cruises that we've got to do comedy on a
All
ship.
over the world.
Yes, and we got to do our comedy, and we also got to tell our story, tell our testimony. So a lot of marriages
I got to help couples. That's
Yeah,
what
it
it's
was
all
really
about. It's just people helping people.
Yeah.
People need hope.
just coaching people, and some of the marriages that we had talked to on previous cruises had gone back on this cruise, and some of them were in bad places before, or having troubles before, and now they're in better places. So it's just it's fun to watch and see.
That is. They just didn't give up. So,
We didn't give up. We didn't give up.
what are we going to talk about today?
I think we should talk about sex.
That's why I'm
Okay, let's talk
smiling.
about sex on a ship.
Huh?
So before we left, our friend Michelle Collins, she said, "Hey, have fun," because she had just gotten back from Europe, and she said, "Have fun on your trip. Have lots of sex." And the first thing I thought of was, we can't have lots of sex on the ship. We're going to be busy. I mean, it's hard because you get up every day and you're just like getting up. You're trying to hurry to
You
get
have to
out.
get to the buffets.
You have to get to the buffet. You have to eat. You have to get to stuff. You have to
Then
get
you
to
have
the
to eat.
excursions. You have to hurry. Then you got to hurry back because we have sessions. And then at night we have stuff. And then we are karaoke and dancing and all this stuff.
Don't forget we have to eat.
8 pounds.
Yes, I did.
But he'll lose it tomorrow.
Sometimes you have to wear stretchy pants.
Yeah. And so I was talking about so on this ship that she was going to have lots of sex, and the first thing, like I said, I thought of was that I was already making excuses of why it was going to be so hard to do that, because we're going to be tired, and we were working, we were like helping people and stuff. So we didn't have lots and lots of sex on a ship, but we had sex on a ship. Right, it was good. But we said we'll come home, and we were going to have the 30-day challenge. So we're going to talk to you all a little bit about that.
30-day Does that mean I have to eat salad healthy
No.
for 30 days?
We're going to have sex for 30 days.
What?
Straight. But wait, before we
This
start.
video's getting even better than I thought.
Yeah. So there's a lot of reasons
I'm paying attention now.
why couples might lose interest in sexual intimacy or struggle with physical affection. But it's important to find out, like about spouses, find ways to keep their sex life fresh and fulfilling.
And it's a piece of the pie. It's not the whole pie.
No, it's not the
not
whole
all
pie.
about sex
Sex.
in your relationship. But I remember Pastor Jimmy saying one time on one of the conferences that we were at that, let's talk about your sex life, and I can tell you the shape of your marriage.
Oh, yeah, the
and I thought
condition,
the
right?
condition of your
Condition of your
marriage.
marriage.
And I thought that was just really neat.
But, it may seem like a small piece of the puzzle, but it's actually rare for a couple to not have any physical intimacy and still have a strong marriage. It's just very rare. There are couples, I guess, that do it, but it's rare. And so we did the 30-day challenge. We're just jumping right into it. I was going to talk about it a little bit first. So we'll kind of go jump back and forth. So Richard and I were in a bad place in our marriage, probably, this was several years ago, and we decided to do the 30-day challenge. Or I came to you, right?
Yes.
How'd that go? How'd that work?
It worked very well.
No, I mean, like, how did we do it? Not how we do it, sorry. No, like, how did
I
I
was
approach
not
the
prepared for
subject
that.
about it?
I think you just came up and said, hey, I think we need to do the 30-day challenge. And I thought it was like 30 days of eating right. And I was not for it at all. I was like, I could do a one-day challenge. But then when you told me what it was, I thought, well, I'm down. I could do this. And
But we were in a bad place in our marriage, so it was hard to do. So
how long ago was I was arguing about it all the time because I felt that I just wasn't getting enough. And
so
it wasn't that. There was things that were happening in our marriage. Our marriage wasn't healthy, but yet I put a healthy level of sex expectation on my wife. and you
Or
know
unhealthy.
that was unfair for me to do.
Yeah.
You know?
And so we didn't. There was something you just said that reminded me. I wanted to say. So we were in a bad place in our marriage. He was talking to me a lot about having sex more often, but we weren't in a very good place. And so for me, it was like, well, we need to be right before I'm ready to do that. But for men, it's just the opposite. Like they need to have sex to be closer to us and to open up. And women tend to kind of push away until they get the other things, emotional, the isolation, all those things better before they want to have sex. But God created it so funny how he did us men and women different, and he made it to where we want to do it afterwards after things are right, but men want to do it. That's how they get closer to us. So we get closer.
We think if long as we're having plenty of sex, our relationship, our marriage is okay. So if that stops, then there's something wrong. So we're, you know, we might be going about it the fundamentally wrong, but sometimes, you know, our mind is in the right place because it's something that relieves stress for men, of course. But men tend to have a higher sex drive than women, and that's the way God created it. God created it so that when men went off to war, all we would think about would be our wife back home. We couldn't wait to get home to our wife, and the wife could wait as long as the husband was gone, because that's just the way God created them. So they didn't need to have sex every day to be fulfilled, and that was what drew them together.
And it's hard to have a close, intimate relationship without that physical contact. And so for us, it was like we just kept missing the mark. Like he was wanting to do it more. I was mad at him. We had a lot of resentment, a lot of problems that we weren't dealing with, and he was putting this pressure on me. And so we were going to marriage classes, and they were talking about different things like how often should you have it, which is probably needed a whole video about, you know, just different the dynamics of sex. But one of the things is how often, and we get that from couples all the time. You know, how often should married couples be making love? You know,
And the average is 2.5 times a week. That's just the average. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, depending on the season that you're in.
Yep. And we hear that, you know, I read a lot of different statistics. It says average couples have it 54 times a year, which is a little bit more than once a week. Some say 96 times or 108 times, but I think if you really kind of average it out, I think the average couple has sex a couple times a week. We learned from Jimmy Evans. He says that, you know, a good healthy marriage should be having it 2.5 times a week. That half's a little tricky, so you gotta be a little creative. But you know, some people are like 2.5 times a week. Like we have it every day. We met a couple recently. We were talking to, right?
Yeah.
And they were having sex every day. They've been married like 27 years.
It sounds great for the guys, but you know, in reality,
Yeah.
it has to be hard on the wife.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
And why is your sex drive so strong like that? I mean, to me, I don't know, that's just a red flag to me. Not a bad red flag, but it seems like that could be an area that the husband might be having an issue in.
Or maybe just a control. I don't know. Maybe they're both, I guess, on board with it. There's no right or wrong way or how many times you're supposed to do it. But I feel like for us, it's like we want to miss each other a little bit. You know, it's kind of nice to, you know, maybe have just some
time in between.
To where maybe you're just doing like, you know,
like,
emotional.
Could you just cuddle with me? I just need to be cuddled.
You and Dave Willis, y'all are cuddlers, you know. And so, but I guess, you know, it depends on what couple you are. We can't say one couple shouldn't do it or not do it. I think younger couples sometimes, when we first got married and we were first together, it was every day. It was constantly. And but as life went by and kids and different things, we just got to where it was a good balance. But we had to be able to talk about it. For a long time, it was something we really couldn't talk about. So when I asked him to do the 30-day sex challenge about, I don't know, I want to say 7 or 8 years ago, 8 or 9 years ago, he was on board, of course, and I didn't really want to do it, but I kept reading about it, and it said the reasons why of how that it would actually help your marriage, and I wanted to prove to him because I was tired of him badgering me about.
You know what? We never argued about it ever after that.
Nope, we never argued about it after that. And after that, we came to a good understanding, and we actually came to an agreement on what we felt comfortable with, and we were able to talk about it. So to get past a dry spell, if you're in a dry spell, this might be a good way. So we want you guys this is your homework, to do a 30-day sex challenge.
All the guys are like, oh man, okay, baby. Well, you heard him. Now all the guys are going to be paying. Hey, we got to watch these videos. They're really, really good.
Well, if you're struggling in your marriage right now, and we're talking about that, it could be really hard for you to do it. If you're in a bored, like if right now y'all are in a season where you're just really bored with each other, this could be hard for you guys to take this on.
But I think it would actually add some.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
To your marriage,
but they don't.
right?
You don't think about that, because for women, we're thinking we have to be in a certain mindset or whatever to do it. Maybe you haven't had sex in 10 years. Maybe this is a good way to jumpstart it. I know when we did the 30-day challenge, it was like day 16, and Richard had worked really hard that day.
I was tired,
physical
y'all.
labor, like he was working on a house. Like I think he was jackhammering a floor, like trying to, because he does construction. So I think he did so he came home, he's super tired, and I said, nope, 30 days, baby, every single day, whether you want it or not.
Yes, get off of me.
Stop
I
touching
can't
me.
leave me alone just one night. Yeah, and I remember laughing.
But I did fun. I did.
Yeah,
I let
so
you
yeah,
have that
twice
night off, but
tomorrow.
I said twice tomorrow. So we'll give you a little leeway. So you'll have 30-day challenge. You can skip a day, but you have to add a day to the end of it. So you can't go more than 40. So that'll give you a little leeway in case somebody's out of town or somebody's not, feeling good, feeling a little gassy, whatever it is. Or just be creative. I think this is a time where they could be creative. And so if you're in a
Like
great place,
Pastor
we're all
Jimmy
over the
Evans
place
says,
on this one, y'all.
there's a high fence. Have a lot of fun,
Yes.
but stay in your fence.
That's so good. So do
Keeps
y'all get
you-
that? Sex is a big yard in marriage.
A lot of room to play.
A lot of room to play. High fence. He says, put on your Batman costume and have a good time. But we've got to stay within the perimeters of not adding other people into our life or pornography or just different things. You can have a lot of fun, y'all. I mean, we know you can have
Guys,
sex.
I'm just
You can
telling
have-
y'all about pornography, and if y'all are using it as a tool to enhance your marriage, it's killing your marriage. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you. I know what I'm talking about. It was devastating to us. I thought it was normal because the world lets everybody believe that, hey, it's normal, everybody's doing it, but not everybody's doing it. It's more addictive than cocaine, and it can destroy your libido, men. It is something that it's not to play with. Get help, have an accountability, a partner. It's got to stop. If you want to have any intimacy, if you want to have a normal life, and I know that, man, the cycle repeats itself. I can't believe I did it again. I can't believe I watched it again. This is the last time. I'm going to stop this time until the next time. And then we start that cycle all over again. The shame, the guilt, the feeling of euphoria, the shame, the guilt. And it's just a brutal cycle that only gets worse and worse. It doesn't get any better. So I'm just, guys, if you're out there watching that, let's do something about it. Let's take a stand for our marriage, and let's get help. Let's talk to our spouse about it. I remember that was one of the hardest conversations. We were watching pornography together, but when she was wanting to quit, I didn't want to quit because I was so addicted to it. But she said, hey, we can't be going to church and living this life and living a double life. And I didn't understand that. I just thought it was going to be taking away. But once
you got very resentful to me.
I got very resentful for a few years. I was angry because I just felt that, this isn't the person that I married. We were very adventurous when it was just her and I, but and that went away. And normal sex, we were just having normal, everyday, just
It's still
plain.
pretty
It
good.
was, yeah.
It's still
Hey,
good.
man,
No, don't get me wrong. It was still pretty good.
Right.
But it wasn't.
It wasn't drug
it wasn't
induced or alcohol
Right.
induced.
And it wasn't porn induced. It was just like we had to be intimate with just one-on-one person, and we had to communicate about stuff. We had to talk about what we liked and didn't like. We had to talk about how often, all those things that we just
that are uncomfortable.
Right.
Man, it's uncomfortable, folks. This isn't man, marriage isn't for sissies. It's not for lightweights. This is the real deal. It gets hard, but we're supposed to talk about it because this is what marriage is about. It's about becoming one, and until death do us part. We're committed to this marriage. There's no doors and windows. We're going to work through stuff. And until we're able to talk about things and open up and be truly vulnerable and transparent with each other, then we are living in a shell of a marriage.
And when you might be in a marriage where even you might be in a good season in your marriage, but maybe sex isn't like on the forefront. Y'all just kind of, doing that marriage dance. You're kind of like enjoying your life. Things are good. You can have sex hit or miss now and then. Maybe it's just once a week or once every couple weeks. We talk to people sometimes and it's every couple months. Maybe you've just kind of gotten like stale in that area. But this is more sex. It seems like the more sex that you have, the better your relationship is. But it seems like the more when we have problems is when we start to pull away from each other, which then we isolate, which then makes it even worse. And so it's just like this weird cycle. But if we could press in and do it, just do it, as Nike says. I know for Richard and for most men, they are easier. It's easier for them to talk. That's when he opens up more. That's just the way it is. Women, we want to talk more at first to be able to have sex and to be close, but men feel closer to us after we've actually had sex. And so, and a lot of times the reason we don't do it is because of built up resentment and things that we aren't dealing with. So if we're just kind of having that surface marriage, if we start digging deep, we can start dealing with some of that resentment.
We kind of talked about this in our class day a little bit, that so many people have been hurt sexually, either as children or in other relationships. And sex is it's not an easy topic to talk about. That pain, sharing that pain. I mean, nobody wants to do that. I know that if I've hurt my arm and I've got a Band-Aid on it, I don't want to rip the Band-Aid off and mess with the wound. I just want to not mess with it. I don't want to touch it. I want it to go away. I don't want to think about it anymore. I want it to heal. Right. But sometimes we need to talk about this stuff. Sometimes, I felt a resentment from her. I thought Sherry didn't want to be with me. I thought she was trying to change the dynamic of our marriage. And we weren't able to talk about it because it was such a touchy subject.
And so we would end up working longer hours, whether either going to work earlier, staying later, going to the gym more, just anything we could do to kind of just not deal with, or to just kind of stay away from each other, so we didn't have to face that intimate, face-to-face time. So then we just stayed busy. A lot of times in life we just kind of we'll stay busy, or we'll isolate ourselves into other rooms of the house, or just not connect because we're not dealing with the stuff and we've got all these resentments. So the 30-day challenge is not a punishment, okay? It's actually supposed to be a joy.
If it is, punish me, baby, for the next 30 days.
That's pretty funny.
I'll take the punishment.
I'll take one for the team. So why do we want to do it? Why do we want to have sex for 30 days straight? One is that it is the release. I always say this wrong. I always say Oxycontin, but it's
oxytocin.
Oxytocin. Maybe kind of
it's
the same
a chemical
feeling.
release in the brain. No, it's
but
not.
One's better
Stay
for
away
you.
from
Oxycontin. No, I know, but I'm just saying that you could have a great feeling by just having sex and not have Oxycontin. But oxytocin, so it's going to release stuff in your brain. It gives you that bonding hormone. It really does. It actually helps you bond to your spouse.
Better than super glue.
What? Sex is better than super glue? So when you have sex, that got me laughing. Oxytocin is released in your brain.
You know too much about Oxycontin.
I don't know. And so it brings you and your partner closer to each other, and you'll bond more. So actually, it's going to help you. We promise. In 30 days, I want to hear back. I don't want details, but I want to know in 30 days that those of you that take this challenge, that do your homework, we really want to hear.
Closer together, you laugh more, you had more fun.
And it's going to not only bring you together physically, but it's going to bring you together more, emotionally also. And orgasms lift your mood up. They get you in a better mood. They boost your immune system, so it's super healthy.
I need my immune system boosted. I can't believe we're on here talking. But hey, you know what?
Look, Brent said Oxytocin, Oxycontin, same thing. I think you're going to still feel the same either way, and one's way better for you, and so you guys might have to make this, the other thing is...
You're shaking the camera.
I'm sorry. It's going to force you to make your marriage a priority. So
I think that's a great idea.
Yes. And so some of you are like, I'm not spontaneous. I always tell people I am super spontaneous as long as I have a couple of days to plan it. So I am not spontaneous. I'm not very good at it. I have to plan being spontaneous. But you know what? I think that plan sex. It's okay to plan sex. It's okay to put it on the calendar. And if you're going to do it for 30 days, you might have to get some creativeness going here of how you're going to do it.
I know that I'm not going to complain. I'll plan it.
He won't. He doesn't care. But it's like, whatever, let's plan it. Let's just have our marriage let it be a priority in our marriage. We're going to be putting our spouse first and making that a priority. So scheduling is okay, planning it's okay, and it's time to be creative, y'all. We got to have some fun. I always tell people, and this isn't the video we were going to talk about this, but this is a good time to break out some lingerie. Go buy you some. Some of y'all got to take some dust cobwebs off that lingerie.
I think they got it. I think they got it when you said be creative.
Be creative. Well, I'm just saying too, you don't have to go buy expensive lingerie. You know,
It's not going to be on that
it's
long.
not gonna. He's not gonna know. You can go the everything at $7 in the store lingerie, or $150 lingerie. They don't know the difference. Okay, just you can go yourself to Target, buy you some cute little something. And did I tell that story? I already told it one time. About when our daughter's 21 now, so she hates when we tell the story. But when she was about 8 years old, I guess.
Yeah.
So she was in my closet, and I'm the stepmom, so she came in the closet and she was like, "Sherry, when you die, can I have all of your Halloween costumes?"
Yeah. Let that sink in. All right.
Okay, so be creative, and it's time for me. I know, however, we all gotta just kind of get back on schedule here. So when you make a relationship a priority, when you make sex a priority, you're putting your spouse first. Look, they're laughing at us right now. All kinds of amazing benefits are going to happen when you do this, y'all. We didn't talk about this. We just kind of went live, and we're talking about sex, and there's no editing right
Nap
here.
time. That's so funny. We had a couple.
Oh.
That's their code word was nap
Yes,
time.
I'm so glad you brought
we had
that
to
up.
take nap time. Oh, it's time to go take a nap. And so the whole marriage cruise, everybody
Yes.
when they would say nap time, everybody would just bust out.
I gotta go
laughing.
take a nap.
Gotta go take a nap.
And
Yeah.
so there was a guy, we were all sitting at a table one night after dinner, and so all of us had heard the story, but
Except him.
he joined late, and so we were talking about taking a nap, and we were all kidding about it and winking, and like, oh yeah, I just got a nap this morning, and different things. And so he said, oh, I have gotten so many naps on this thing because I have been sleeping the whole time. And then his wife is just getting
red.
redder and redder and
You
redder.
haven't had that many naps.
So she had
Oh
heard
yes,
it. and
I
he
have.
had-
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's a good code word. So have a code word like, yeah, hey, we got to go take a nap. And so number 3 reason why you want to have more sex, and we're going to have 30-day challenge, is because it will increase your communication skills. Because you're going to have to talk about some stuff. And you're going to have to maybe talk about sex, about how you like it and how you don't like it, and it's going to help you to do that. And it might even bring up some resentments, but doesn't matter, y'all. It's 30 days
Time to
of
work
sex.
through this
Time to
stuff.
work through this stuff and talk about it, so we can talk about some deep
No,
issues.
Antonio, this isn't a Tony K.
This is a porn
Is this a
channel.
porn channel?
This
No,
is marriage.
this is marriage. This is real marriage. This is stuff that we need to be talking about in church. God created sex. God
Yes.
created it. Let's give Him the glory
Yep.
because it's needed in marriage. It's the glue that helps bond marriages together. It's just a piece of the pie. It's not the whole pie. It's not the whole thing.
No.
We have to be balanced in all areas, but we want everybody to have fun and do the 30-day challenge.
And I know, like when I said we did it several years ago, and I promise you that was several years ago. Probably how many? Like 7 or 8, 8 or 9 years ago. And there's something changed. I mean, and we were in a horrible place in our marriage right then, but something clicked. It didn't solve everything, but it was the catalyst that started things to start changing and for us to happen. And I think a lot of it, Richard says, even now looking back, it was a big part of it was he felt like I desired him and I wanted him, and it was a big deal to him. Like it really meant a lot to him. Just the every word I'm saying just sounds so weird. The act of it, but every word sounds like it's sexual. We believe you need to have more sex and more bonding in our marriages. So I hope you guys agree. This might be controversial. Some of you guys are going to maybe go talk to your spouse. And you know what? If you go to your spouse, go with them with love. Not Richard and Sherry said we need to have sex 30 days and then you get angry. But you know what? Maybe this is the time to say, hey, let's just take this time to get closer to one another, to take our marriage to another level, and to maybe break some. Maybe you guys have been separated for a while, or maybe not physically separated, but maybe you have been separated in your own home and you haven't been having sex very often. But this is a good thing to be able to maybe bring closer together. It's a weird subject to talk about.
It's time to go take a nap.
So I hope this is helping y'all. We'd love to get some feedback on
Hey,
this. I don't
stay
know
tuned
details,
in.
but
Share this with friends.
Yes, share our
Well, maybe
videos.
not this one.
No, share this video with people.
We're trying to reach 1 million couples.
Our goal is to reach 1 million couples about marriage. When we'll talk more extensively about sex and pornography and some of those things, some things that are more.
Brent says, I hate homework, but he's going to love this
Brent,
homework.
you're going to love this homework. So we're going to do, so please share the videos, tell your friends, share that. That's the biggest thing is sharing the videos. We also have a YouTube channel, which is The Real Brights. Our studio is in the process of being put together now. It's come along several steps. It's starting to look really good. We got to get some wall stuff going, and pretty soon we're going to be in our new studio. And we also have another camera that we're going to be setting up so we can do Facebook Live and YouTube Live. That's saying my time's up. YouTube Live and our Facebook Live. So we'll both have both of those going. So for right now, just share these videos. Tell people about the YouTube channel. What else?
That's it.
Yeah. So hopefully you're grounded to your room. Now go take a nap. Who said that? Abe. I like it, Abe. All right, guys. So you guys are grounded. Go take a nap. Have 30-day challenge.
We'll see you next Sunday.
May
We're
5th.
praying for each one of you.
Yes, and we pray for you guys
Thank you for
every
your
day.
support. Help us help couples.
Yes. We love you guys, and peace out.
Peace.